Alright, so this is going to be a video about unit conversions. And unit conversions are related to dimensional analysis. So if you ever hear the term dimensional analysis, I want you to think of unit conversions. Okay, now the best way to teach unit conversions, in my opinion, would be to go over examples. So I have 3 examples here of converting some measurement to some other measurement. Okay, so I'm going to work all of these out and hopefully it makes sense to you. So here we go. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is we want to write down the number that we start with. In this case, it says 5 feet. So we're converting 5 feet to inches. So I'm going to start with the 5 feet and just write 5 feet. And it also sometimes helps to write over 1. Okay, so 5 feet over 1. Now to do this as a unit conversion, I need to multiply this by a unit converter. Now a unit converter basically is just going to be turning this feet into inches. So to get rid of this feet, since it's up top, we need to put it on the bottom so that it ends up canceling out. So feet over feet would cancel. Okay, but you can't just be unitless. A unit converter needs to be some value divided by some other value, and it has to include units. In this case, we're switching to inches, so I'm going to put inches up top. Okay, now this whole thing right here has to be equal to 1. This must equal 1. That's why it's called a unit converter. Okay, because unit is kind of like uno, it means 1. So this whole thing needs to be equal to 1 to be a unit converter. So that means that this value and this value must be equal to each other. Now the numbers don't have to be equal, but the measurements need to be equal. So how many inches are equal to the same amount of feet? Well, hopefully you know that it's 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. So 12 inches divided by 1 foot would technically be equal to 1 because these values represent the same thing. So when I'm taking this 5 feet and timesing it by 1, I'm not really changing the number. I'm just changing the units. Okay, because we can multiply any number by 1 and then we'll still have that same number. So we're multiplying this by 1. Now say I change it to 24 inches divided by 1 feet. That's not a unit converter because 24 inches is not equal to 1 foot. 12 inches is. Okay, so from here, you should see it's feet over feet, so the feet will cancel. Because feet over feet is just like 2 over 2, it cancels to 1 over 1. So the units of feet go away and you're left with inches, which is good because that's what we want to solve for. Multiply across, because that's how you multiply fractions. We have 5 times 12, which is going to be 60, divided by 1 at the bottom. The inches carries over here, and then we have 60 inches divided by 1 is equal to 60 inches. Okay, 5 feet to inches should be 60 inches. Okay, that's the first one. The next one, it says convert 123 seconds to minutes. So same rule applies. Write down what you start with over 1. Okay, then I'm going to multiply it by, well, I want to get rid of seconds, so seconds is going to go in the bottom, so this cancels out. And we need to convert that to minutes, so I'm going to put minutes up top. Now you need to think, okay, how are minutes and seconds related? Well, hopefully you know that 1 minute has 60 seconds. Okay, so you have 123 times 1 minute, so the minute comes over here, divided by 60 times 1. If you notice, there's no seconds. Okay, you plug this in your calculator, you should get 2.03 minutes for your answer. Okay, last one's kind of trickier because now it's 50 miles per hour. So before we would write the 50 miles divided by 1 because we had what we started with divided by 1. But here now we're dividing it by 1 hour. So it says 50 miles per hour. It's the same thing as saying 50 miles per 1 hour. So that's what I'm writing here, 50 miles per hour. And I'm going to get rid of this miles here, so I need to put it on the bottom. And I'm trying to replace it with feet, so feet go up top. Now, you might not know the conversion, so I'll just tell you, but 5,280 feet is equal to 1 mile. Okay, miles cancel, so now if we multiply it across, we'd be in feet per hour. But I want feet per second. So now we need to get rid of this hour on the bottom. Since it's on the denominator, I'm going to put it up top to say hour. Okay, and I'm trying to replace that with seconds, so I'm going to cancel out the hours. I have to think, how many hours are in, or how many seconds are in 1 hour? So I'm going to put 1 hour here. There's 3,600 seconds, because it's 60 minutes times 60 seconds to get how many seconds are in an hour. So if you multiply it across, you should end up getting 73.3 repeating. So if you multiply it across and divide it by the 3,600, you should get 73.3 repeating, and the units that are left is feet divided by seconds here, so you would just write feet over seconds, And that would be your answer for the last one. So that's unit conversions. If you have any questions about anything on this video, let me know.